Well, hello. Every gal needs a cowboy hat.
Scanning the room, you look for a familiar face. Everyone is a stranger. Your heart's racing, you feel nauseous. New plan. You meet 4 new people. Okay, 3. 2? You can handle 2. And then you think, I hate this. This just feels so fake. And before you talk to even 1 new person, you're looking for the nearest exit.
Okay. Crazy. Yo, who invited this chick?
My heart races when I walk into a room full of strangers too. Except it's not anxiety, it's excitement. I'm not thinking networking quota. I'm thinking, look at all these stories. And I get so pumped about talking to people that I don't know.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
We don't talk about Bruno, no. We don't talk about Bruno. But it was my wedding day.
Woohoo! Welcome, everyone. Okay, if you've seen some of the promos and watched my TikTok, you would know why that song matters today. Welcome to Show Up with GailNow Live. Oh, and as the intro talked about, the importance of stories, the importance of, well, not just telling your story, but sharing it. I have a 3-step process where I help manufacturers help tell and share their story. Those 3 steps: sign up, suit up, and show up. And showing up, that's where the magic happens. And so many people in manufacturing have these great stories, and yet then they are reluctant to tell and share them. And yet they're doing it at trade shows. They're doing it in cold calls. They're showing up for sales calls. And even when we're talking about recruiting and retaining staff in manufacturing right now, that is a big issue. And the guest we have on today will be talking about those 3 steps and also how he has managed to become an influencer in the roofing industry. Okay. As you know, or maybe don't know, I'm a recovering journalist. And when I'm looking for different guests, I'm always really interested about finding people that are doing things a bit differently and they are utilizing that show up idea. I will tell you this, I've learned that the roofing industry is really using digital marketing and they're getting out there. There's podcasts. I've heard all these podcasts about roofing. So we are going to talk about Brunno. So let's welcome the amazing Brunno No BS Batista.
Hey,
Welcome,
how you
Brunno.
doing?
I'm great. I want to first say to everybody, Brunno is on the road.
Hello.
Oh, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. I'm sorry. It's
Oh.
I told you I'm traveling.
You're traveling, you're in your car, you're using some Wi-Fi, and I'm just glad to have you here as long as the sound is great.
I'm glad to be with you too.
Before we start, I want to go to our studio audience and I want to ask some people to please, if they're here, to drop in, where you're from. And if we have, I know there's some people I did invite and they're maybe new to coming in and doing this type of show. So I hope you will drop your name because in LinkedIn on the comments, lots of opportunities to do some networking and you just never know who you're going to meet in the comments. I also will ask everybody, if you head over to my YouTube channel and give a subscribe, give a like. I am actually planning, and Brunno, I will tell you more about this another time, but I am planning to do more on YouTube. So stay tuned, everybody. Okay, let's go to the studio audience, and then we're going to get back to Brunno. And Brunno has, so many stories to share today. So we have Inger's here saying happy Wednesday. Inger does work, and she helps a lot of people in manufacturing also show up. So, and she helps a lot when it comes to LinkedIn. Katie McDermott. Now, Bruno, you must meet Katie. Her son is a roofer, and she is the manufacturing hype girl. So she is out there helping hype manufacturing. She's an amazing, brilliant mind, but also very fun personality. So, Edgar said, just love that song, Gail. So does Lana. Lana is her young daughter. I think it's 6 now. I love Lana. So, yes. Did you love my lip syncing, though? I think that was like, okay, we have Gabe. Okay, Gabe, welcome. He says hello. Gabe is a big supporter of encouraging more LinkedIn live stream shows. And here's someone we both know, Bruno. James Kunkel.
Yeah, James.
I was just listening to James, also his live show. His live show is at noon. James, the reason I have my special guest today is because I heard him on your show. And I tell you, this is the power of showing up. Bruno, because of that interview and everything you were talking about, I thought, okay, I've got to get him on my show. And then I've been spreading your name around to lots of people in the roofing world too. So
I don't think anybody want to talk about me, right?
oh yeah, no, they do. After this show, yes. So she's, where are my WWE gifts? LinkedIn. Some Batista gifts would kill right now. Am I right? Katie is the queen of gifts. So, and Gay said, interested, recovering journalists. Do they have a recovery group for that? No, I'm kind of, there's only a few of us that I really, but I think we do need a recovery group, especially with what's happening in mainstream media right now. That will be a story for another day. We won't go down that road yet. Please mention me. I'm from Pittsburgh. Woo! Love that. Okay, here is Elizabeth Elias Hernandez. Elizabeth has a client who's in the roofing business, and Elizabeth speaks a whole bunch of languages. And I think we were just talking about this beforehand, Elizabeth, that Bruno speaks a little bit of Creole, and I think you speak some Creole. I think that's it too. So, okay, we have some more networking. And then Katie says, you know me, I'm that girl that is far too excited with the people that make the things that make the things. I'm in central Wisconsin now, but heading out west tomorrow. Oh, yes. So the people that make things that make things. Okay, and we have some more, and I will agree with this. Wait a minute. James says he's an awesome guest. Yes, I already know in our conversation before the show and watching him on social, and Katie goes mainstream media. I'll leave that there for a minute. Just let that sit. Hashtag recovering journalist. Okay. Everyone, welcome. I know there were some other people that might be tuning in. So if there's any new guests, please drop your name and say hello, because then I can send a shout out to you. And if you're on YouTube, please also drop a comment there and say hello. Okay, Bruno, let's go with your origin story. Is also what really intrigued me, because you are a roofer. You've done a few other careers, but let's go back. Let's tell a little bit about where you came from. Other than your mom.
Originally, I came from Brazil. I was born and raised in Brazil. My parents moved to the United States, in 1993. And that's how my story started with roofing. My grandfather was a roofer. So my grandfather had a roofing company in New Jersey, it was a union company. And when my grandfather was sick, my father decided to take over the business, and we moved to New Jersey. That's when I started on my first interaction with roofing. I knew about the story, by my grandfather back in Italy, because he's from Italy. And, I just, I was actually, when I was young, and started doing roofing, I was probably the richest kid in the high school. I didn't have money. I'm just saying, I was the only one working, and I was very ugly, but seems that I attract a lot of girls, because at that time, I had money. So, I would take everyone used me, because they were like, hey, you have a car. So I would drive people around and all that kind of stuff. But I didn't really work hard. And in one point, I hate roofing, and I left. I ended up getting a scholarship. I moved to Florida, but I hate a job working 9 to 5, and I'm like, I don't want to do this, And I went back to the roofing. And there's an old saying that once you roof in the roofing industry, you never get out, and it's kind of like a mafia thing. And it's true. I end up going back, and this time not on the roofing side, not on the roofing contractor side, but more towards manufacture. So my entire career, I built, between roofing contractor and manufacturer, most manufacturer.
Hmm. So a little bit to context. So your grandfather, so originally from Italy, and then your parents moved to
Yeah,
Brazil.
my grandfather to escape the World War II, they moved to Brazil. That's when my father was born. My father was
Okay.
the first generation of Italian Brazilian that was born, because my all my uncles, my aunt, they all from Italy, including my grandmother and my grandfather. And my mom is full Brazilian, so they met. My father was in the military. They met, and the rest is history. I got three kids. I'm the middle child. You know how it is, the middle child. No one likes, right? Because the oldest child was my sister, the only girl. So everyone was she's the responsible one, and the little one, a boy. So I'm in the middle. My brother was I was spoiled. I was the one I was to blame for, and you know, but I'm okay with that because I was the only one they end up being the roofing. So my
Mm.
father passed away. He died in a car accident on I-95. It's a big
Yeah.
interstate here in Florida, and I'm glad I'm here. I wish my dad was here to see my footsteps, to the roofing industry, but I don't regret because I know he's in the heaven. He's seen me around, so.
I think from what I've learned about you, he would be very proud of you, Bruno, of what
I don't know. I do. I do a
yeah,
lot.
no,
I got a
yeah,
big mouth. I say things. There's a lot of
uh,
times, it create a lot of controversy.
well, we talked about this, and one of the things, and we'll get to that because along the way, and when you went off you worked in finance, right? That 9 to 5 job was working in
Yeah,
finance.
I did. I work for Morgan Stanley, and I was making good money actually, but I just hate it. I hated that. I mean, I didn't have to clock in and clock out. I was an underwriter for a bank.
Mm.
For Morgan Stanley, a financial institution. Maybe that's the reason that everything collapsed. Because I was an underwriter, approved everyone a mortgage, but I didn't like it. And then I went back and I started working for a big manufacturer. And that's when I created my history. On the manufacturer side.
Okay, so I love that story because it's also about the global aspect of moving around, people, and also that your dad needed you and you stepped up to the plate, basically, right? You came back to kind of take over the family business. Is that?
No, actually, by the time he died, he already had sold the business.
Okay.
So he was semi-retired.
Okay.
So, but I started working in manufacturer. And he didn't see me that because he died in 2001. And,
Okay.
but like I say, you're right. I came from another country. As you can see, I have an accent. My brother does not have an accent. I guess when you move from another country, uh, I wish I could have had moved to Florida, not to New Jersey, because when I moved to New Jersey, I moved to a community that was half of Portuguese, half Italian. So if I would
Mhm.
go in a convenience store or a supermarket, everyone speak Portuguese or everyone speak Italian. So you don't have the challenge to speak the language,
Right.
uh, and that's the problem, everyone speak the language. And if you go in Miami, Florida, is the same way. A lot of people sometimes think, oh, why those people don't speak another. It's just because for them it's easy. You're more comfortable with the
Mhm.
language, you're born with, your natural language, and but now I'm a mix of everything. Sometimes I'm thinking Portuguese and English. My dreams are very vivid. I speak English perfect, and on my dreams I speak English perfect, but when I wake up I have this stupid accent. I don't know why the brain is such a trick thing. So,
Oh,
but it's human nature. We have no idea.
yeah. Well, what's interesting too about being able to, I always think speaking more than one language is so valuable, not just for work, but also just culturally. Like when you know another language, there's a richness to that. And I
Yeah.
mean, I know a little bit of French, but I am always, when I tell all my like different friends of mine that had children that resisted learning, their mother language, I said, oh, one day you're going to value knowing your language of
Yeah.
origin, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fascinating. So, okay, so I guess the long and short of it, though, you ended up in the roofing industry, which I'm sure is also, continuing that legacy. You said 3 generations of roofers. So now, what makes you probably different is your use of social media. So that's what I found most fascinating about what you're doing. And I mean, in an industry like roofing, like, why do you need social media? Why, like, because I hear this in manufacturing, that a lot of salespeople don't think
Well,
it's that important.
yeah, I can explain to you. I created like almost like a chaos in the beginning, a chaos in our industry, in the roofing industry in general. When I started using social media, you know, uh, as a matter of fact, was you looking for a job? Because everyone say, man, you're talent, you good on what you do. And I was stuck on the manufacturer I was working for many years. And I see everyone climbing the ladder, and I was the only one stuck. Who knows? Maybe it was my accent. I don't want to accuse anybody, but trust me,
Mhm.
I seen people with less skills than mine, and they were all getting promoted. And customers, they would love me. A lot of times they would not. They would say, "I want Bruno on my roof. I don't want anybody else." And it gave me confidence. And I got people that keep telling me, "Hey, apply for a job." And I went to, oh, are you there?
Yep. Yes, sir. Here. Yep.
You that? Hey, there we go. You're back again.
Yep.
So,
Okay. Yep.
so then I applied for jobs at Indeed.com, Monster.com, all those websites. And then someone say, why don't you use LinkedIn? I say, what the hell is that? Say, oh, it's a platform that you create networks. Okay. I say, all right. And I created one. Actually, I had one. I had no idea I had one. And I only had 3 friends. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna start posting, pictures of patch and repairs. And repairs I was doing the roof. At that time there was no such thing of putting a video. At that time on LinkedIn was only pictures. But I starting to putting things a little bit different. I create my own twist. And I don't know how my brain works, but I start to create a lot of crazy stuff. And next thing you know, I start to get traction. From you know people watching. And then when the video when I was able to put video, was even better. But if you could see my videos from uh from 4 or 5 years ago, I didn't even talk because I was embarrassed on my accent. I would say, hey, hi, I'm Bruno, I'm in the roof. That's it. And I would show the roof, and I would write all the beautiful things. But I was like, you know what, I'm gonna be a pain in the butt of a lot of people, because I'm gonna be who I am. So I start putting OSHA's nightmare, roofer's nightmare. I start to making fun of certain things that I see in the roof. And I end up having a lot of people that love me. But at the same time, when you put your face out there, right? You also give you're gonna have the big possibility that a lot of people's not gonna like the things you do. So yes, I do have a lot of people that love me, but I do have a lot of haters. I'm not gonna lie to you. I even can tell you one situation that happened. True story. I was with a friend of mine. She picked me up to the airport, and we were going to see a roof together. And I never met her boss. A boss. I didn't even know his name. So she put in a speaker, and he didn't know that she came to pick me up at the airport. So next thing you know, she say, I'm coming to this roof with Bruno. And he started to say, oh, I can't stand that guy. This guy's, and she was in a speaker. She tried to turn off the speaker, and I hold her hand and say, don't worry about it. I'm used to it. And then she actually cried after hang up. She was like, "I'm so sorry. I didn't know that he was gonna say those things." I say, "Listen," and it bothered me, of course. There's a but little little by little, I start to be like, you know what? It is what it is. When you put your face out, that it's kind of like an actor, right? You
Mhm.
might like one actor, but you like, and maybe I don't like it. And
Yeah.
that's part of life. That's human nature.
I agree. And I often say, you're not chocolate. Not everybody's going to love you. So,
Yeah, I'm vanilla.
well, there is something, I mean, like anything in life, and in both personally and professionally, is that, you know, you're never going to please everybody or everyone. And there's going to be people also who are jealous of, and I think in your case, in an industry that also doesn't stand out so much, when someone does stand out, I think sometimes people want to knock that down because you are doing something different.
Oh, absolutely. I got fake emails. I got people that reach out to associations that I'm part of committees and try to say things that like, "Hey, Bruno." They never told who they were. I had actually someone. I block him, but I'm sure one of the coworkers are gonna see. I don't care. I got one guy that just because I made a comment, he called the HR, to complain about me. And just because I say to him exactly these words, I offer him something, and he say no, and I say, well, I knew you were gonna say no. It's typical you. Next thing you know, the guy called the HR, man. I'm like, what the hell? And luckily I have because the HR came to me and said, Bruno, we're going to have to write you up. I said, wait a minute, write me up. Look, I can show you the conversation. I didn't say anything. She apologized and she said, yeah, you're right. Just don't interact with that guy. Yeah, I'll do better. I'll block him. And I block. I have 34,000 followers and probably 10,000 that I block already. That's a lot.
Bruno, what I love about you, we had your hashtag up, there, the Bruno no BS. And I think that is what is, I've used this word with someone else recently too. I said, it's very endearing because it is refreshing to see someone who, has built a following by not trying to be something else. And like you said, when you first started doing your videos, you held back, but your accent is, it's endearing. It's what's intriguing too. I mean, when I heard you speak, because, I can understand you and all of that, but it's like, it's like,
But
that, diversity. It makes it
But
interesting.
check this out. There's a lot of posers and a lot of people that fake in the industry, and I don't think it's only in the industry. It's in general. Every type of trade, every type of business. Because I remember, I'm not gonna say names and all anything, but I remember when I was not very well known, and I got my first job in sales, and I was doing sales. I would call distributors. I'm not gonna mention what distributor was, and they would thought maybe I was a telemarketing or they, oh, I don't want to say anything, or hang up. Now if I say it's me, Bruno no BS, oh my gosh, come over here, sit down. And I say, oh, I remember back in the days, but you know what, it is what it is.
Well, and now people want to. Now I know we talked about this before, and you're reluctant, but I'm going to have you do a little bit of brag here. So I'm going to ask you to do this. When you go to trade shows, do people just walk right by you, or what do they say now?
Oh man, it's a craze. I got a true story. I was in the bathroom, all right, doing the number no the number one. I was not. I was doing the normal thing. I was stand up, and there was this guy looking at me, right? And he was staring at me. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm in the bathroom. He likes me or something. I didn't know. Next thing he finished his thing. I finished my thing, and he was like, "Oh man, you're brutal." And he came to shake my hands and say, "Oh man, I'll shake your hands, but you better wash first." I said, "Calm down, buddy." So and then we talk, and it was weird, but it happens a lot. Sometimes when we go on a trade show and I have a connection fly, and I stop and everyone has that connection fly. Everyone knows, hey Bruno, how you doing? Oh my gosh, let's take a picture. And when I go in the lobby, even before going to the hotel, people stop by, and I do the same thing when I see someone. I go and take picture. Hey man, how you doing? I take picture of people too, and I know the people that really don't like me, but you gotta put that smile. But I don't believe in this certain thing. People say fake until you make it. That's all BS. There's no such thing as fake until you make. You fake until someone find out, or you fake until your mask falls off. Which is my own experience. I tried to fake until I make it, and it didn't happen. It didn't work the way I want to. You know.
I always say it's like lying. If you're going to lie, you have to have a good memory. That's why I said I try to avoid that, because then I don't have to worry about getting stories mixed up. It's like, unless something goes in the vault, and then it's like it's in a vault, and then I put it to my part of my memory. It's like I forget about that. So if anyone asks, I'm like, I don't know. Like that's about that. But yeah, I agree. Like you said, it's really faking until you get found out, right? That is because you can't hold that up for too long. You can't pretend. I mean, there are people that try though, but I don't think it's very healthy.
Yeah, I mean, there is a lot of in our industry, and I guess in general, CEOs of big companies, there's a lot of narcissists. So those people, they can fake until they make it, because they don't have no empathy to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So everything they do is using people, and there's a lot. I'm telling, there's a lot. They want to. If I was in the street right now, they want to help me. But if it was related to association or something like that, they will give you hundreds and thousands and $1 million buck.
You froze a bit. Okay, Brunno is frozen. So while he's frozen, I'm going to continue on. Okay, wait a minute. You just froze for a bit, so we'll have to go back. There we are. Okay, so okay.
So they want to look good, but we all know the ones that are real and the ones that are not. Everyone knows, and they know too.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I want to go to the comments for a minute. Before we do that, I do want to just say, for any of the people from manufacturing, I see some regular people here, but some the regulars, not regular people, regulars that tune in. But there's also, I know, people that are watching maybe in other channels and maybe aren't yet willing to comment. I do want to say this, that when I'm working with manufacturers on those 3 steps, the sign up is having the right mindset. And I would say, Brunno, like you ace that in terms of, your mindset. You decided you wanted to like go all in, and you just took those chances on social media as well. So kudos. And then the suiting up really is that, always learning, continually learning. And that's something that also I know you're doing, because I've seen some of your roofing videos. I just saw the one that you did with where you could put something on underwater.
Yeah, it was this morning. I was training a roofing contractor,
That was cool. I thought so. I will encourage everybody to please follow Brunno on his LinkedIn, his Facebook. There's videos there, and we'll get to TikTok in a minute. We'll come back to TikTok. But those 3 steps. So, and then showing up, I would say that's where the magic happens. And that is what you do so well. And I mean, just you telling those stories so far, thank you. Because it's also entertaining, because you are so natural that it's just, I just want to thank you for.
My high school teacher told me once, man, you're an actor. You should be acting. And that was a long time ago. And it was funny thing, 30 years later, or 30 some years later, I graduated and all that. I found him on Facebook. This was this year. Oh. And he came to Florida to visit someone, some of relatives, and we end up seeing each other. It was very emotional because he was my inspiration. Oh. He was a math teacher, and I love him, and he was my best teacher. And we connect now. We talk all the time. I'm sure when I put that on Facebook, he's gonna like it.
Yes. Well, let's give a shout out to him. Can we say his name?
Abilio Barros. I told you, everyone speaks Portuguese in New Jersey. Abilio Barros. That was my Portuguese teacher.
Oh, nice.
I mean, he was a math teacher, but he was bilingual. But he only speak Portuguese with me, so I couldn't learn English,
Well, there was probably a comfort level to that too. It's probably more beneficial, right, than you realize. So let's go over to the comments. I do want to welcome. So here's someone too you should meet. Whitney is an amazing marketer in manufacturing, and she's tuning in from Sugar Land, Texas. I love that name, Sugar Land, Texas. I just love saying that. We've got some more comments. We do have someone here, LinkedIn user. Hey, y'all. Good to see everyone. So if you could drop your name in, I'm not sure who this is. Sometimes when it says LinkedIn user, sometimes the settings set up private, so we don't know who we are. We have
Or it could be one of my haters. I don't know.
yeah, I don't think so. No, I think it's more like her. Yeah. Poor middle child. She said, I'm the baby, the reason my siblings don't love me, and the one who takes the fault. Exactly. The babies of the family. We struggle with those issues too. We get, so Katie, I'm with you, fellow baby. Inger says, we all have accents, Brunno. Just think many people only speak English, but you are multilingual. I would agree. I think own that accent. So, and Katie wrote, I love accents, just not mine. I want to learn more Hebrew. Okay, well, that's a good goal to have, Katie. And then Inger also said, so glad you came over to LinkedIn, Brunno. She said, it's so important to be real. Yes, we have some more back and forth. Then we have, okay, so Q&A says, I was a baby until my younger sister came along. Oh, it's hello, LinkedIn. Anne. Hello, Anne. Okay, welcome. Anne works in the world of HR and manufacturing. We're in a group together. Hello, Anne. Welcome. We're both having, I think, some FOMO about not being at IMTS right now. For those of you who know what that is, you'll understand why we have FOMO. Okay, let's go back to, so we've talked about sign up and suit up, and now we're talking about show up. You show up in social media. Let's do a little detour before we go over to TikTok. Let's talk about one of the things you do is encourage, and this will be interesting for Anne and some others, is you encourage women in roofing. And one of the things I found interesting is you say it's not just women that are working on roofs. There's so many other opportunities. Can you talk about that, especially with Manufacturing Day coming up?
Well, I'll tell you, that it happened with a dear friend of mine. Okay. She got to let go of a company because her boss was hitting on her. And she tried to speak out, and nothing happened. Oh, here we go. So nothing happened, and I end up, trying to give a voice for women. And then that's why I started, and I try to every week put, I ask people to put give them a little bio, like a little bit about their story, and they ask, oh, but I'm not in the roof. I never been in the roof before, but you still part of the roofing industry. You've been worked 5 years in the payroll, or you're a project man, or you're a purchase manager, or you do this or you do that. So you are part of the industry. You might not be, because it's a little bit of different components, and it make a whole thing together, So, and I try to encourage people too, and I give a lot of unheard voices too. I put a lot of people that, because I treat everyone the same way. I have my own podcast, right? And my podcast, I came people that on my podcast that have a company that worth maybe $2 billion, $3 billion, and then you have someone that is just a roofer, or someone that is just don't even speak English, and I put them to speak, and I speak in Spanish. I give them the voice because in the construction in general, not only roofing, the labor force, the workforce is all the majority are Hispanic, for a long time now, so they are the ones that don't get me wrong, the CEO have to work hard to to maintain the company, but it's kind of like in a battle, right? You have the soldiers, right? They're fighting for you, and those are the front guys, they're fighting for your company to make your company a good reputation. And a lot of times you don't hear from them, and I like to give the voice for those people too as well.
You know what? That is so valuable. I'm glad you addressed that, because definitely we need, advocates, male, female, to all speak up, but also to realize the value of everybody in an industry. So in manufacturing, it's not only the people that are the engineers, it's not only the people on the shop floor, it's also, people in payroll, it's the marketing, it's the IT, it's the owner, and Yeah.
Yeah, I got people from IT all the way to to roofers and everyone. Yeah, I had everyone, and those ideas comes up right away. I if I walk in the roofing company and I see someone, I grab a camera and say, hey, come here, I'm gonna put you on the camera right now, and that's why I do it. And they like it. A lot of people like to get people a lot of times everyone loves money. Don't get me wrong. If I tell you I don't like money, I'll be lying to you. Recognition in
Mhm.
money is a form of recognize someone. But also people love to get praise. Everyone loves to, hey man, you did a good job. Excellent. And I
You
like
know,
to do that.
Bruno, that's another gem here you've just dropped about not only, the inclusivity of everybody in industry, but also recognition. And, I work in marketing, right? So I take a lot of photos. I go to events. It's one of the areas that I do that I love about my job. Sometimes I'll go and I'll take photos and I always tell people, like, I don't, if I go up to someone and say, hey, can I take your photos? If I give them that option, they'll sometimes say, no, they'll shy away, but I'm like, okay, I'm grabbing. And so what I do is I take a selfie. So I've been known for that. So I'll grab a picture with them and they love it. And now what happens when I go to an event, sometimes people will say, oh, are you going to take a selfie? Like they want to, because they like that recognition, but they don't want to necessarily be standing alone in a photo, right? So most of my selfies aren't selfies just with me. They're usually other people in them, or I'm promoting an event or promoting something. And you're right. People do, even if they don't admit to it, it's nice to be recognized, because then when you're recognized, that means also that you're valued in some way as well.
Right.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, that was, I just want to let that sit, because that is that idea of everybody being important in an industry is very valuable. And we also have, I want to do, looking ahead to October, I mean, pretty soon it will be October, we're going to be into manufacturing month, manufacturing day. I'm going to ask Katie to drop some information in if she's has anything ready. Her company is doing a whole educational program and offering teachings around, like, for manufacturers about, what I like to say about showing up. And as we start to look at the next part of showing up, you're my fellow TikToker. So let's talk about TikTok. Let's
Uh,
talk about TikTok.
what I don't know, because I got banned 2 months ago when I was in a high numbers of people
I
following.
know.
And I had only my hashtag alone, I had 25 million views, just my hashtag alone. And then next thing you know, I was banned, permanent ban. And I tried to appeal those videos, and it was nothing bad. It was a wrong practice on the what I call.
Yeah. You've just froze a bit. So I'll just say, for those of you people listening, Bruno had about 1 million followers. Oh, you just froze for a minute. So I was just going to wrap. Bruno had about 1 million followers, 25 million views. And then actually, when I saw you on James Kunkel show, I think then you still had your TikTok. And then
I
all of a
still
sudden,
had I still had it, and then it disappeared. I'm like, and the funny thing, they don't have explanation for me, because I had 34 videos that got banned, and 24 of them got restored. 5 is still pending on my old account. And every time I try to hey, listen, those videos, I got some of the videos, because I get from everywhere. I got from your own website, from TikTok. It came from TikTok. You can search, Google search, and put OSHA's violation. You're gonna see 100 of them. I think either one of my haters, probably was like, you know what? Let's all start to collective, how do you call, report me.
yeah.
So I don't post that anymore, because I realize, hey, it's someone's messing with my money. So,
Well, in social media, I always tell people you can't ever rely on these platforms, because they are free, and they can, as much as they can celebrate you, they can halt you, everything. Like, you're
oh,
really, the
absolutely.
only thing you own is your website, right? But
could be on top of the game, and the next thing you know, you have nothing.
Yeah. Well, I saw your videos, but I've seen this happen on TikTok. That's why I said it's very there's a lot of inequities about why people get banned and everything. But I know you're on there, so it's your hashtag. I think it's Bruno OBS is how they can find you on
Yes, that's
TikTok.
my hashtag. Yeah.
Okay. So people can, I would say, if everybody wants to go follow Bruno, we'll try to get his numbers back up. And because you still have some cool videos, and it's too bad. I saw some of those other videos. They were hilarious. I've seen much worse on TikTok. Like that's why
Absolutely. I bet if I was a teenager, doing something crazy, hitting someone, I would be getting 10 million views, and
I
everyone love. But because I'm not, I'm an old fart, and
yeah.
because when I create a TikTok, and I was a little bit, man, TikTok is a bunch of teenagers dancing. I don't even know how to dance or singing or something like that, But I was like, well, I'm gonna put some videos, and if people like it, like it. If they don't, they don't. But then, like I said, I started to get a lot of traction. But
I think I don't know. Oh, he's frozen. So I know he's traveling, so a little bit of instability in Wi-Fi right now. So
there you go. I
you're
learned
back.
my lessons from the past, and I'm not gonna do that anymore.
Yeah, I'll have to maybe push the envelope because some of them were very good, right? So I do agree that it might be that it was complaint driven, which is too bad. But you know what? Well, more people need to come out and support you and comment and say bring back Bruno's followers. I think we need to have a campaign of that. So in terms of so right now, can we talk about what you're doing right now and maybe point to? I know there's some other things coming up. I'm going to turn over to you to tell a little bit about where you are now and what's upcoming.
I'm with ID, but in a couple weeks, I got a big announcement, and it's gonna shock a lot of people, but I cannot say it's a surprise. Okay, I'm gonna put everyone in suspense, and like biting the nails, because but a lot of people are gonna think, there we go again. He's gonna change jobs. He changed jobs like he changed underwear. It's not true. I change jobs because if I know the opportunity is better to make more money, yes, I'll go for it. But yeah, you're right. A lot of times, that's the old saying, right? It's not always green and the other. It's not the grass is not always green on the other side. So I had there was a couple switch that I did it that it was a little bit challenging for me, but I don't regret anything because what I did it was with the full conscience, that it would be beneficial for myself. Sometimes you make mistakes and you correct those mistakes, and that's it.
Well, I do think too that it used to be people were in one job for that was like, parents, grandparents, that's what they had a job, they stayed there, but sometimes they hated it. They hated. So I'm with you. I think sometimes changing, pivoting, the new word pivot, coming up with different ways of earning a living can be kind of exciting too.
Yeah.
And yeah, I love
So with IB, I promote I'm what we call this title. He came up, my CEO, Jason Stanley. He came up with that title. He said, Bruno, you influence, so I want you to be the brand ambassador of our company. And I was like, all right, that's good. I'll be like the Flow, Progressive Insurance. They have the commercial with I don't know if in Canada they have the Flow from. Do they have that in Canada?
well, there is Progressive. Then there's Gecko with the gecko, right? There's that.
Yeah. So I'm the gecko of the industry, So, but I became the like almost a mascot,
Yeah.
But I do more than that. I promote. I put stuff on the internet. I would say this. I'm the bridge for a lot of networking. A lot of times, you wouldn't see those people making business together. Next thing you know, because I had the connection, I was able to say, hey, why you guys never met? Why you guys never talk? Why you guys never work together in a business, in a project?
Mm-hmm.
And then they end up working a project and they're very happy. So, this is one of my functions. And I do demos. Demos is my passion, training people. I like to train on job sites. But the last few years, my I got an evolution, kind of my job evolved, and I don't go as much as I used to go on the roof and train crews. But I do miss a little bit. I don't miss the sun and the hot, but I do miss, train people, and I was in shape. I gained weight, because at that, when you're on the roof, you walk, you wanna, in the sun, so you probably lose about 2-3,000 calories, a day, or 4,000 calories, easy, So, but I do miss that. I do miss training people, Any
Well,
opportunity I have, that I can, I go and train people.
well, you're doing that through social, everything you're doing, including like when I've gone and looked at things. And I know, as I said, there's some people tuning in today that are connected to the roofing industry. So, and you worked in coatings, right? With
Yeah, liquid apply, aka coatings, roof coatings. It's not paint. It is coatings, which is a waterproofing system. It's to
okay.
restore the roof. Uh, it has to be a candidate. That's the reason actually I created the hashtag Bruno No BS, because coatings is not a miracle in a bucket. And a lot of times I would have had arguments with the salespeople, because I was in the technical side, and I would say, we're not gonna do a coating on this roof. This roof is not a candidate for coatings. This roof is shot. That's the term we use when the roof is way beyond restoration. You cannot restore anymore. All you can do is replace the roof, put a new roof.
Mm.
But there's a lot of people that they don't care. All they care is about the money. So, and I used to fight with people. I say, no, I'm not. Hey, listen, I came here. I don't want in 6 months to a year from now to have a lawsuit, to the company, and put my name on the drain, because this roof is not a candidate for coatings. And then that's when I created Bruno No BS, because I was not gonna BS and tell, oh yeah, this roof is perfect for coatings, and 6 months later people complain, because that's why coatings had a bad reputation for a long time.
Mm.
Not anymore. People have changed their minds, but back in the days, they had a bad reputation because people would sell coatings when the roof was not a candidate for coatings, when the roof had to be replaced. There is a rule that if more than 25% underneath the sub, if there's water underneath more than 25%, you need to replace the roof. And a lot of people would not listen to it, and then they would do. But when I was in the director of technical, or when I was in the management, they wouldn't go. They would try to go, try to kind of step up where you at. They tried to, but they couldn't, because I would be like a hawk. Nope, 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 and no. I would write it out a big report saying this roof is shut. I would throw everything I see wrong in the roof, and they would get upset. But I'm not trying to take money from people, because I understand that they salespeople, but some of them are mistake, because they young. A lot of manufacturers hire young people, so they don't have the knowledge that I have, or the other people
Mhm.
have as well. And I understand that some of them are mistake, but there are a few of them. They not mistake. They do on purpose. There are people that actually they do mistake, and they learn. Oh, thank you, Bruno. Oh, I didn't know that. Now I'm gonna pay attention, because you gotta remember, if they want to be in this industry, they want to have a good reputation too as well. So, but there are people that actually intentionally sell roofs, coatings, doing, and a lot of times even the builder owners. Because here's the thing: the builder owner, hey, guess what? He has this hot potato. He's trying to sell the building, and then he say, "Hey, I'll get a warranty here on this roof, and it will pass the inspection because the manufacturer give the warranty, and we're all good." But the reality is that the salesperson either did not pay attention or intentionally sold the product that was not supposed to, and there we go. Now the manufacturer it have to accept the will lose money, because now the roof has a 10-year warranty, 15-year warranty, and the roof was not supposed to apply the code in the first place.
Right. One of the things I love about that is that I once was told this too. Your reputation is the one thing that you have from birth till death. Like it's the only thing like that is you own it. And if you abuse that, I mean, I was a reporter for over 10 years and whoop, we lost Bruno. Okay, let's hope he will come back. I know he was in his vehicle. So I do want to go to the comments. It's a good time to go to the comments. And I know maybe Inger, you can see if you can send him the link again and see if he can come back. I'm going to go back because we want to send out some nice things about Bruno, which is way to have integrity, Bruno. I agree. As I just mentioned, that is integrity. Your reputation is so key. Yes, you can't put Band-Aid on a pothole. Very true, Inger. Thank you. And Inger also said, I love it. It's not a miracle in a bucket. Yes, I think when it comes to the coatings and that's a really great saying. And yes, Whitney, that's so cool that Bruno got to be brand ambassador. And I think there's quite a few brand ambassadors here on the call today dropping in comments. You're all representing your brand in such a great way. Yes, Katie, you are M&I's brand ambassador, and you're also an ambassador for manufacturing as well. I have to go back and watch this one. I just think about that Friends episode. Okay, I gotta go. I'm gonna have to look that up on YouTube, the Pivot episode. I vaguely remember, but I know it was Let's see. We have, hello, Elizabeth. She dropped in to say very impressive followers. Yes, he does have a lot of following, and he's had to block some people, but he's also lost a lot of his followers on TikTok, which is really too bad because I did check out his channel and it was pretty funny. But unfortunately, yeah, sometimes TikTok will do that. Okay, we have Katie. Yes, talking about for everybody listening today, you do want to check out Manufacturing Month. MNI is offering free classes in everything from industrial marketing strategies to manufacturing process implementation through the month of October, drawing on expert advice from our connections across the industrial world. I will also be part of this, full disclosure, and supporting it. And I know Inger is going to be doing some teaching. We have quite a few, actually, there's people probably in this on the show today that will be taking part in the teachings. Katie's yelling, pivot. Okay, I've got to watch that now. I'm sure it's something yeah. And Katie said, yes, when I do my selfies, it's an Ussie. Yes, we go. I need to think of a new name because it's not really a selfie. Hello. We have, I did want to say hello to Shannon. Shannon's is in the house late. You got to catch a large part of it. Late part of it here. Good afternoon. Hello, Shannon. Wow, really great turnout today. Thanks everybody for stopping in. I don't know if Bruno, as I said, Bruno was in his vehicle and maybe having trouble getting back onto the show. So since we're getting to the top of the hour, I am going to start to wrap up. If he makes it back in to say goodbye, if not, we will, I think what we can all do is go send him a connection on LinkedIn and definitely go on TikTok. And if you're on TikTok, to go follow him there as well and catch. He also is on Facebook and does some great videos there as well. I've just started checking those out. Okay. Katie says, I got to go back. She says, it's Piv. Okay. I feel like I'm more of a Seinfeld person. I watched every Seinfeld. I watched a lot of Friends, but I was not the friend. I watched Seinfeld, I think, a lot more. So if there was a Seinfeld reference, and possibly How I Met Your Mother, I watched that whole show as well. So I'm going to start to wrap up. Remind everybody that Elizabeth dropped in with that she is hosting an event in Windsor for manufacturing. Stay tuned for more information. So please go over and follow Elizabeth. Elizabeth is also a fellow marketer. Her company is Perco Marketing. She does a lot of work here locally, a lot of small businesses, small to mid-size, and make sure you connect with her as well. So remember that it's so important to sign up, suit up, and show up. And I'm going to show you this quote on the back of my shirt. Let me just see if I can show it here. Can you read that? So I am a big fan of Ted Lasso. And so if you didn't read that, it says, be curious, not judgmental. Ted Lasso just won more Emmys. It's a great show. If you don't watch it, I encourage you to watch it. And, part of this show is about being curious. and not being judgmental. And I think, it's important for us to showcase more people like the Brunnos of the world, the Brunno No BS, where he's sharing these stories. He's the real deal. That's what we need more of in the world. And he is just this great spark of energy. And like I said, I learned a lot more about the roofing industry. Did not know that about the whole coatings. And I think that applies to a lot of areas in manufacturing, dealing with companies that are the real deal. I also help manufacturers, tell and share their story and how to use social media to a much greater degree, not only for selling, but also in recruiting and attracting people. Because what we're seeing now in the industry, and with us coming up to Manufacturing Month, there is a great need to hire more people, to find more people that come into manufacturing. And we can't just do it the same way we've always done it. We have to start looking differently, and we have to start getting brands out there, brand identity, and start sharing stories about workplaces. If you would like to learn more, or if you have businesses or companies that want to talk to me about that, please send me a message through LinkedIn. You can also find me on Twitter. My website is GailNow.com. And I'm on pretty much all social media platforms. In fact, I think I am on all social media platforms, not too many that I'm not on. And part of that reason is that I do like to learn more about the various social media so I can help clients. But even if you just have some questions, please send me a question along. Okay, on that note, it looks like I think we have lost Brunno for today. So I hope he is on his next journey. I know he's traveling. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. And stay tuned, because we have lots coming up for the month of October in Manufacturing Month. I have a couple of really, more wonderful guests, because all of my guests I think are pretty amazing. And I love learning and sharing this journey with you. Okay, on that note, we are going to start to say goodbye. I want to thank Brunno and thank everyone for tuning in today. Have a great day.